to war. Who's calling us home and into the combat zone we roll. Buffalo combat zone. The war is ours to own. Bill's mafia rise under crimson skies. Defeats disdain. Victory's glory in the Buffalo combat zone. Buffalo combat zone. The war is ours to own. Bill's mafia rise under crimson skies. Defeats disdain. Victory's glory in the Buffalo combat zone.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sports book of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Buffalo Combat Zone. We are your hosts, Alex and Randall. Alex Miley will be here shortly. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. What's up, brother?
What's going on? How we doing today?
Not bad, man. I'm excited about going to this game. I'll be at the game on Sunday, so we're making a 9-hour trip on Saturday morning. So
Saturday morning? Are you
Yeah,
trying to
we'll-
leave like 4 a.m. to do stuff
No.
on Saturday? No, just
No.
standard.
yeah, we'll leave. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, so I'll be leaving on around 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and I'll get there by 5. That's when my check-in is for my Airbnb. So
That's not
and
bad.
then we might check out Niagara Falls, and then some wing spots, and just kind of enjoy the day. And then we'll watch some 1:00 football, and then get into the rest. Alex Miley's trying to get on right now. He'll be on in a second. You can see the name tags. They'll be up in a second as soon as Alex. Actually, we'll do it right now when Alex comes on. Today we're going to go over the Ravens-Bills game, kind of do a little preview, do a roster breakdown on who has the better roster, and then we'll move right from there into some predictions about the season itself. So, and I'll let Miley run that part of it just so he can guide me through the awards and accolades that we're talking about. So, what's up, Miley?
What's up? Sorry, my computer was refusing to connect to my Wi-Fi, so I had to like completely reset my Wi-Fi and everything, and it was just annoying.
So
Look good now.
Yeah.
this thing is going to drive me nuts. Okay, let's just it'll adjust itself. Get ready, give it some time. I think it's the close up. So
Yep.
Go ahead. I'll let you start, Miley. Go ahead and give us the breakdown of what you think the roster differences are between these two teams. It's something we've been talking about a lot lately. Is who has the better roster? Like we know we had the better quarterback, but who do you think who do you think favors the roster?
Top end talent, it's definitely the Ravens. I mean, we've seen like obviously Derrick Henry, one of the best running backs in the league. Ronnie Stanley, an elite tackle. Marlon Humphrey's an elite corner. Roquan Smith's an elite linebacker. Kyle Hamilton's an elite safety. Matabuke's an elite defensive tackle. Like the Bills, they have a lot of really good players, but there is not as many where you can sit and definitively be like, yeah, that's a top 5 player at the position. Or that's, I mean, we obviously Allen, but then it's like Dawkins, Spencer Brown, Benford, and that's really the only ones that you could even debate are top 5 in their position. I feel like, as we saw last year, the Ravens had more all pros and Pro Bowls for a reason. I think they have more top end talent. And I also think that they don't really have like the holes. I feel like they're probably about the same. Like, I think our weaknesses are about as weak like as their weaknesses. Their interior offensive line, like or not, their right side of their line's not very good. They don't have a game breaking edge rusher. Their cornerback 2/slot corners, like outside of Mylon Humphrey, there's a lot of unknown. Their linebacker 2 is not very good, but because they have that top end talent, it kind of makes up for it a little bit. We don't have as many players that can kind of make up for having weaker areas as they do. And I think that's really the difference. It's like Roquan Smith is so good that even if you have a weaker linebacker next to him, he can kind of take over and make up for that a little bit. Kyle Hamilton, if he's not, he can just be played anywhere, and he's just such a playmaker. Like, we're missing players like that really can kind of make our on offense, having a Derrick Henry making Lamar's job much easier. We don't have that for Allen. I think that's really the difference between the rosters. I mean, I think they're both elite rosters. I think the Bills and the Ravens are both top 5 rosters in the league, so it's kind of splitting hairs. But I would say the Ravens are definitely have a more talented roster for those reasons.
What you, Randall?
I mean, so Buffalo having a top 5 roster is kind of a debatable situation right now. I think as Buffalo fans, we're kind of projecting into what we've seen in the offseason. And if we're measuring up off seasons, I'd kind of say that we are ticking in a better direction than how we felt before the playoff game and how the Ravens controlled us in the regular season, right?
100%.
So like if you're looking at the wide receivers like Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, I don't really have much faith in DeAndre Hopkins when it comes down to it all, especially because he got nicked up throughout the offseason. And Zay Flowers is a great wide receiver. Rashad Bateman's a good wide receiver. But now, if we're looking at what the potential ceiling is of our wide receiver room, we probably can match that, to be honest with you. If Keon Coleman does what we think he's going to do, if Dalton Kincaid comes out as a good pass catching, then we're kind of evening the playing field along the lines, especially with the trident that we have in the running back room and potentially how Joe Brady will use all those 3 guys. So on the offensive side, I think we're getting close to even, especially because of the offensive line. So I think you're right, Miley. The interior offensive line's a little rough other than Tyler Linderbaum, and they've had a little bit of injuries on that offensive line. So that's where we can even it. The defense is kind of like it's rough for me because I think the defense overall, as you mentioned, with the superstar or with the star players that they have, Matabuke, Owe had 10+ sacks, and then you have Kyle Van Noy, that's incredible. I'm not sure where Marlon Humphrey's going to play, probably the nickelback position now that Ardarius Washington's out, how they work their defensive backs. But regardless, they have a better defensive back room. So why the Ravens defensive backs don't look fantastic against us is because of Josh Allen. But through a holistic approach, their defensive backs and their defense is just more whole and better. So overall, I think it's coming closer to a stalemate coming into week 1. And it's almost like a tragedy that Baltimore and Buffalo are playing week 1, even though I think it might be in our benefit being in Buffalo, because the way that our roster and their roster might mature, I think that we might see an uptick into a better roster as we grow than the Ravens personally.
I agree.
So, yeah, I kind of agreed with that. I agree with both of you, really. I think the Ravens have a better roster. I think that's not really debatable. You can debate who the better quarterback is. I think we have that. I would say the more impactful quarterback who can do more with less, right?
Clutch.
Yeah, Lamar is going to do a lot with his squad, but I think they created the most amount of separation last year of any wide receiver core. And I think that's meaningful, and I think the stats showed that, and that scares us. That scares me a little bit. When it comes to our receivers, it's a really weird conversation, right? Because I can see if I match them pound for pound, like Shakir's probably a little worse than Zay. Bateman, could Palmer turn into a Bateman level player? I mean, probably.
Right.
And then Coleman, and then you have Coleman and D-Hop. Right. It's just an unknown version of it. Right. So I think that's a lot of what we're dealing with right now as it relates to the wide receiver group. I do worry more about their secondary than you guys do. I think that Wiggins is a really high end talent that could end up being a situation where he is a solid, really good CB2. It's year 2 for him. He's a rookie. I'd feel less afraid of it, honestly. And then we have Marlon Humphrey is just, hopefully he takes a step back this year, right? But he's probably just as good at any corner we have. And then we've got Jair Alexander if he's healthy. But Alexander's not healthy. So that's the thing, right? So what is he? Is he a shell of himself? what kind of player are we getting in that stance? So, yeah, I don't know.
I got a question for you on that.
Yeah.
Because you're very right about the degrees of separation. Now, this is a recency because we are playing week 1, so obviously it's super relevant. But when, let's say, Ricard and Isaiah Likely are out, I believe that separation will enclose in the offensive formation that they're going to have to run. Personally, if they're running 11 personnel, Ravens like to run 22 personnel. They like to have extra offensive line as well. But when they're missing Ricard and Likely at the same time, I'm curious to see how their wide receivers separate for Lamar Jackson and how that ends up coming to be, especially in a week 1 matchup.
Yeah, I think you're right. So that was the next thing I was going to get to. I mean, if we're just talking about straight up rosters versus what roster we're going to see this Sunday, I think it's a different story because Likely's not going to play. I think there's a real risk with Jair Alexander, whether he plays. I think there's also a risk with D-Hop playing too. And Ricard, right? Ricard makes their run game go in a lot of ways and makes that two-headed bull of Henry and Lamar be even more scary. And then I think you have a situation with Likely where he diverts attention away from Andrews and the receiving core and things like that, and they can't really key in on the places we want to key on. So hopefully the spacing changes just based on us not being able to us not being so spread out, because I think that's a fear. Now last year too, remember the first game, we were pretty banged up, so we couldn't really compete with them anyway. But in the playoffs, I mean, we're getting like a half a Milano at that point, like. I don't know if it's really much to say. I'm glad. I don't like playing them first, but I'm also kind of glad we get them first because other than Trey White or Hairston, our defense is pretty healthy.
Yeah.
And we've kind of come out of all these soft tissue injuries and things like that, and that happens to us every year. Just a little more excessive this year, but every year we always get out of those injuries by the time we start. I think it's a plan by the training staff ultimately.
Yeah,
it just freaks us out for like 3 months. But yeah, so I mean, they got to be better at safety, of course. Without Ardarius Washington there, we've got Starks, who is a really good, solid rookie player, but we don't know what he's going to be in the NFL. He's going to have to take some time to get acclimated. But Kyle Hamilton's probably a top 2 or 3 safety in football, so I think they're probably still trumping us there. Linebacker wise, I think our linebacker core is better. I don't know if you'll agree with that.
I think I'd agree. I think the gap between Roquan and Milano is smaller than Bernard and Ty Simpson.
Yeah. And I think that in coverage, ours are way better.
Oh, yeah.
Roquan's not an elite cover linebacker. He's a middle linebacker.
Awful.
Simpson's not good in coverage at all. I think our D lines are pretty close. I think they're a little more stout than us in the middle, but I think we have the similar strengths and weaknesses. You know what I mean?
They just have the top end guy. Yeah.
And then you have the offensive line. I mean, we're more complete offensive line, I think. The right side is weak. Neither one of our sides is really weak. They're elite talents, probably a little higher end, but not very much, if at all. I mean, if you think about Ronnie Stanley versus Deion Dawkins, I mean, I think I'd take Deion Dawkins.
Me too.
I would.
Edwards is probably a downgrade to their left guard, but not to Falele. Falele on the right side, right? Yeah, Falele's on the right side. Yeah, he's a kind of a replacement level player in my opinion. They love him there though. They're going to keep starting him. So
Ravens fans hate him.
Yeah,
Ravens. If you see on Ravens fan Twitter, they talk about is how much they hate Falele and Patrick McCarry. I think they're right tackle. They just talk about how much they hate Harbaugh for continuing to play those two guys.
Yeah, I know. I think that there is definitely there's something to be said about that, where they do like their guys, and they're a lot like us, right? Like their coach likes a guy, he's going to play. Like DeMar Hamlin kept playing, we hated that. Falele is that kind of player for Harbaugh. Like, and then the running back room, their running back room's probably a notch above ours for sure. Even though we have a really good room, they have a power element that we just don't have, and it's a scary one, to be honest with you. And then they have a fullback that's just the best blocking fullback maybe I've ever seen. So I think. If you look at the rosters, like their top 2 roster, I think we're top 5 or 6. I think we're really close. We just have like slightly downgraded versions in almost every position. The question becomes,
depth.
Our depth is probably better.
Yeah.
That's Ravens' Achilles heel on offensive line. Offensive line depth. They lose 2 guys.
Everywhere almost.
They lose like Linderbaum or if they lose like Ronnie Stanley or Linderbaum, that is a bad offensive line.
Yeah, I agree. So there's that, and then also just come into play, right? Like just because your roster's a little bit better, because that's what we would consider it, right? A little bit better. It doesn't mean they're going to play up to their potential or we're going to play up to our potential, right? So if they don't come to play like we do, it's our first home game. So they've got to be really up for this game. It's Sunday night football. This is where Josh Allen kind of thrives in a lot of ways. I think they're going to be hyped for it. I think they're going to bring it all. And I think they know that the next 6 games are relatively easy to manage. And if they win this one, it puts us in a really good trajectory going forward. So yeah, I think that it's a slight difference, but I don't think it matters. I think whoever brings more energy at the end of the day is going to win this game. And whether our receivers can elevate a little bit, I think that's will be a lot of it. Like a lot of the reason Allen hasn't played that well against them statistically is because the separation hasn't been great on any level, really. I mean, if you think about it.
It's also, I was just going to say, it's also kind of the same thing for Lamar. Like, we struggle against top-end quarterbacks, except for Lamar. Lamar's the only quarterback where we've actually been able to hang our hat. Like, we can actually stop it. Like, Burrow, Mahomes, they usually just shred right through us.
Yeah.
Lamar, both times he's played in Buffalo, he did not have good games. Like, 2019, the only reason we didn't win that game is because Josh Allen hadn't broke out yet. That was year 2 Josh Allen. He wasn't that good.
Yep.
But yeah, that was Lamar's probably best season, his first MVP season, and his worst game of the season was probably against us. He was not that good. And then that playoff game in 2020 where they scored 3 points. Like he's statistically been, and then the playoff game last year where he had 2 awful turnovers. Like he's not been good in Buffalo.
I'd argue his playoff game was better than the regular season game he played. The problem in the regular season wasn't really the receivers that we had trouble guarding. It was the screen game and the run game were so good. We just had no answer for it because we didn't get out of our base scheme early enough. Like as soon as that run popped off, it's like, okay, it's time to change up. We can't do this anymore. And they changed a little bit.
We also didn't have the linebackers though with no Milano or Bernard.
Yeah.
Or
that's part of it.
More game plan.
Yeah, right. That's part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll fare better than that. You know,
having Dorian as that third linebacker as the Derrick Henry stopper is huge because he is easily our best tackling and best run defending linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think we just didn't play. I don't think we played with a lot of energy. You know what that game reminded me of last year? Remember the Colts a couple years ago, 3 or 4 years ago?
The
they came in our house.
Of that game.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor just destroyed us.
Oh, yeah.
2020, I think, or 2021.
Oh, yeah.
And then the
that
Titans
was 21.
Titans game a couple years ago, right after that, felt a lot like that, where we just didn't have any answers. And I mean, rarely do we come out like that. So that gives me some hope and some good feelings about like what we're going to do in this game, because those games are an anomaly for this team. We don't come out and get blown out ever. And when we do, it feels like garbage.
Yeah, we had
like,
what was that? I think we had the NFL record at the time for most consecutive games where we didn't lose by 1 score. Literally the last game we lost by more than 1 score was that Colts game. And then it was that Ravens game. That was over 2 full seasons, and I think it was 3 full seasons.
Did we catch back up? I'm talking about regular season, right? Because the Bengals game we lost.
Yeah, that was a playoff game. So it was regular season.
Yeah.
And that Bengals game I kind of throw away because there was just and literally everything that could go wrong that season went wrong. It was just such the worst case scenario.
We're in a bad spot. The Bengals were upset too because they didn't get the 2 seed. If you remember right.
Yeah. I'm over. Yeah. That was obnoxious.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about how Joe Brady's going to handle this situation, because I do believe that we kind of like the playoff game is a wash. Like nobody should really, if the Ravens watch that as tape, should not do it sort of thing, because we should kind of almost do the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Josh Allen had 135 passing yards, I believe, or maybe even less than that.
Yeah. He's like,
so what
16,
Joe Brady's
22.
what Joe Brady's going to end up doing is at least in the first half, you got to throw 3 or 4 go routes. Hit it with, but not even just with Keon Coleman, with Elijah Moore or Joshua Palmer.
Yeah.
So when they're trying to adjust in the second half, they're like, okay, well, now there's vertical threats. What do we do? And then you can pull back and you can adjust your situation. But it comes down to the passing and really some of the rushing when it comes down to it. Baltimore averaged 80 yards rushing per game on the defensive side. So barely teams broke 100. And one of the big stats that I got to see that I'm curious to see how Lamar answers in this, if he repeats it or doesn't, is that from 21 to 23, Lamar Jackson's pressure to sack ratio was about 20%. Last year is down to 11%.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if he reverts back to that 20%, and can we get him on the ground 2 or 3 times with a turnover? If we
Yeah.
actually have him hit the turf, and that causes turnovers or punts and things along those lines for more possessions on our side, this could be a 10-point lead going into halfway through the third quarter, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's something to be said about like last year being a little bit of an outlier for both quarterbacks, really, as a statistical anomaly.
Sure.
Like,
100%.
are these guys going to do that many limited amount of negative plays? No. When Lamar starts to press, there's one thing about Lamar: when he's playing free, he's unstoppable. When he starts to press, he tends to give the ball to the other team. He starts to fade. That's why he's not good in the playoffs, right? And if he comes out pressing in this game to try to prove a point based on the playoff loss, that could bode really well for us. He's still going to be dangerous. I mean, all the disrespect online is kind of silly. I think that we need to, he's a top. I have a top 3. I think he's the 3rd best quarterback in football. Honestly, I think he's much better passer than people give him credit for. Yeah. I think that he's just really. I think a lot of the narratives draft time carry on with these players throughout their careers. And that's what we're seeing a lot of times with him and with Josh and him too. And then good stuff too carries on with you. Like, Burrow is going to forever be like this magical creature.
Made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's a magical, and he made 1 Super Bowl, and he's a magical creature. He's done nothing else except for get stats. And he's a good player. He's top 5 quarterback, but he's got the best receiving room in football.
Has that aura. He has that aura that makes players better that no one else can seem to have. Like,
but give him
he's just so cool under pressure.
Put him in Buffalo.
If he dresses himself, he has no aura. If his stylist dresses him.
Yeah.
It's funny. They talk about how cool he is under pressure. His career EPA in the 4th quarter of playoff games is worse than Zach Wilson's career EPA.
Look at his playoff stats.
He's statistically worse than Zach Wilson in the 4th quarter of playoff games. And Zach Wilson's one of the worst quarterbacks of our.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's one of the more overrated players in football, honestly.
I agree.
think that his stats loft him up. I think the best receiving core in football. I think if you put him in Buffalo's offense and with our weapons, he would be on the struggle bus. I think he'd have, he wouldn't be 4,500 yards. He'd be in the mid 3,000s and probably have 20 touchdown passes. And
having that awful defense helps too because he's losing, and so he's just throwing to Jamar and T. Higgins while teams are playing kind of more of a prevent defense because they have big leads.
They're like, whatever. Exactly.
And remember, it was a bad schedule because of his injury in 2023. They were playing the Patriots, the Panthers, the Titans, the Cowboys, the Raiders.
The defenses he beat up on were not good. The only good team he really beat up on was Baltimore, and that was the first half of the year. Baltimore's secondary was terrible.
Terrible.
And and just look at how Browning did when he came in to fill in for him. Now, he wasn't as good as Burrow, but he was damn good in that spot work for multiple games. Yeah, he was Burrow light in that offense, and Browning's a nobody.
They had a winning record.
Yeah,
they went 4-3 in games he started.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think he's a little bit overrated, but whatever.
I love how we had to say, which is fair, good things about Lamar Jackson, and then it turned into bad things about Joe Burrow because at least we got to throw shade somewhere when it comes to Bills Mafia.
Yeah. All right, so here's the deal. So what do you think? All right, so kind of we've laid out the differences between the rosters, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think this game's going to play out? And give me a score prediction for each one of you. I want to kind of end this part of the segment on that, and then we'll pivot into, maybe predictions and rankings. We're going to do our prediction show today too, as well, for the last half.
Yep.
I'll go. Yeah,
I'll go 27-24 Bills. I think that this is going to be just a back and forth type of game, and I think it really just comes down to I trust Josh Allen more than I trust Lamar Jackson. I'm a Bills fan, of course I'm going to say that, but it's kind of gotten proven when they've played, when at crunch time, when it comes down to it, Josh Allen has made less mistakes than Lamar in these head-to-head games, and they've been able to win them. And they talk about the Ravens having all this energy to get revenge from last year. This is the last Bills season opener at the old stadium. You think they're not going to come out with energy? You think they're not going to come out? Oh, they've heard this talk all offseason about how good this Ravens team is.
I didn't think Madubuike seemed that pumped up. When he said that, I had to watch it because it seemed crazy, and I listened to him like, He doesn't sound that pumped up.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I just I wasn't
Standard
scared.
answer.
I
Standard
wasn't
answer.
scared anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, I think that we started playing them better. I think having a healthy linebacking core when you're playing Baltimore is so key, which is exactly why Baltimore struggles against Kansas City, because they have linebackers who can tackle. Being able to have Milano, who's looked great this offseason, who's looked like he's maybe not back to his prime, but 80-90% of that, which is still a damn good linebacker. Dorian Williams, one of the best run defending tackling linebackers I've seen put on a Bills jersey, just struggles in pass coverage. That's why I doesn't see any playing time. And then Terrell Bernard is just the quarterback that's able to move pieces around and get things in the right spot. I think that having that healthy linebacking core and being much deeper in the D line, so we're able to rotate so our guys aren't getting as tired. Like the playoff game last year was we had 4 or 5 guys who could do anything, so it's just play them as much as possible. The second half, they got tired, and our defense was kind of getting shredded. Now it's you go from Daquan Jones and Ed Oliver, you put in Deion Walker and TJ Sanders, and you go from Greg Rousseau and AJ Epinesa, and now you got Joey Bosa's in there, Devon Solomon's in there, Landon Jackson's in there. They're upgrades over freaking like Dwayne Smoot and Jordan Phillips. Like those guys just aren't good.
Yeah. I'll say this too, like with Joey Bosa. I mean, I know we've been saying it for years about AJ Epinesa, but I mean, are we really sure he's that good at setting the edge and as a run defender? Like, I don't know. I think he's fine. He's good. He's fine. I just don't see like he's pretty good. I don't think he's like this elite edge run defender. You know, like I think he's like okay player. Yeah. But he's not like a. But we talk about him all the time because what he was in college when he was 30 pounds heavier. Yeah. That he's this guy needed to lose weight and all this and that. Maybe that took away part of his game. But he's not quite what he was. I think my point is Joey Bosa is a huge upgrade, I think, in that level. Yeah. And I think he's going to counteract and have a chain reaction on the rest of the defensive line. Not to mention the penetrators we got in the draft. I think they're both going to be good players. Even though Walker isn't a great run defender, his size alone causes havoc in the middle of the O line that can maybe affect the run, right? Even if he's not the guy making the play, him getting through causes a chain reaction of like a compression in the offensive line to combat on that. So I think that's going to be a big thing. Daquan Jones is healthy now too. He wasn't healthy pretty much all last year. First year coming off what did he have? Was it a neck? It
was pec. It was
pec. Pec. That's what I said. Yeah, I couldn't remember what tendon it was. So we got him off a pec. He's first year. He's probably now back fully 100%. You know, and honestly, you know, this needs to be the game of his life. I think he really has to step up. Because if we can stop the run with our front four, we're gonna have success. I think in this game. Anyway, go ahead. I thought it was a tangent, but whatever. Go ahead.
No, it's good. It's a good tangent. I'm going to go 25-20. Similar score. I think it's in that 20 range. I think the first half is going to be pretty just hard nosed. I think each team is going to try and punch each other's team in the throat. Basically, run the ball down, see what you can get, play action pass on third down, see who can get them tired, and then adjust in the second half. So I do predict the first half to be relatively low scoring, and that's why it's 25-20. And then I think that we open up the playbook in the second half, and then we actually start throwing deep because we haven't thrown deep that long against the Ravens. And I think it's imperative that we use deep passing with Josh Allen this year, and we start hitting it hard in this second half while we kind of fake that we're going to stick. We're going to try and show in the first half what we did in the playoffs and think that we're going to keep status quo. And then second half is when we're going to open up the floodgates, and then we'll just keep a lead.
Please.
Yep, more at 25-20. So that's how I predict it. Now pressure on the four. I'm very curious about. I'm wondering what Sean McDermott and Bobby Babbage is thinking if Ricard doesn't play and likely's not there. Do you send disguise blitzes out because you're not going to have those pass blocking in that line or in 22 personnel and things along those lines? So I'm curious to see if he tries to confuse Lamar Jackson and make him throw quicker than he normally does without being able to evade.
Yeah, I think that's where my head's at too. I think if we can get middle pressure, I think it pushes Lamar off his spot a little bit. He can't just sit back there and throw and then make him do things while he's on the run. I know that sounds crazy to make him do things on the run, but if we can set the edge and really hold our ground and not just rush upfield at him, and we get good middle pressure, I think it's going to pose problems for him. Because that's one of the things I think it's not just about speed, it's about reaction time as a quarterback. It's kind of like flag football, right? When you have a flag game and they're blitzing you, or they bring it up against the center, right? Because you only have like one blocker in college intramural, and like you got to move, you got to initially make a move, or it's going to surprise you and get you. Like it's reaction time, and I think that's probably where we can get him a little bit. I've seen him a lot of times, like in the when he fumbled last year in the playoff game. His reaction time was a little slower. He tried to do a little too much without evading the pocket, drops the ball for no reason, right? I think we have to come out the gates, like you were saying earlier, with something different than what we showed them last year in the playoffs and in the first game last year too. I think we have to come out a little more aggressive, make them respect us a little bit down the field more, just show them we have more in our bag. And then also we've got to use different, like it sounds really basic, using different plays, but we can't come out with the same script. We have to come out with just some more things in our bag, right? More play action, more misdirection, more things like that to get them off like on their heels, to make them second guess what they're looking at. And I think by doing that, you can kind of set a good coast into the rest of the game. I think we need to punch first and we need to score first too. I think that's good. I think it's going to be how we start in this game more than anything else, is to punch them in the mouth, get a touchdown on the board, something like that, and really make them play from behind, because they are front runners. Like they are a really good team, but they are front runners more so even than we are, more than like the Dolphins are a good front runner team. There's a lot of front runners. They're one of them. If you get them down a little bit, they start to like press a little and they start to fumble, like the Andrews play last year in the playoffs, things like that. So I think we get them in that position, we'll have a good chance to win this game. I think it's going to be close. I think because we're at home, we're probably looking at maybe like a 30-23 ball game, maybe 27-20. So we're all kind of in the same bar. I think it's gonna be a one-score game. I don't think it's gonna come down though to like they have the ball and we need a defensive stop. I don't think it's gonna be that exciting, you know. I could see like 27-13 and they score 27-20 and then we get the ball back, run the clock out kind of deal, you know, something like that. Now it could be closer than that. I don't know. But if they win, I think it'll be the flip. I think it'll be kind of like if they beat us, I think it's because they really did outplay us all game, and then we're having to score late, and then that's a one-score game kind of deal, you know?
Yeah.
And
so we've made that comeback against the Ravens when it comes down to it. It was 23 at half at the first half on that one. But one thing that I am interested to actually watch on like a minute level during the game is what Joe Brady does with duos and trips, because he loves wide receivers and duos and trips. And now with Joshua Palmer and Elijah Moore, and then using Keon Coleman in a trip or Kincaid in that trip, that is going to be a lot of fun. And that's going to be a wrinkle that I don't think Ravens will be ready to handle.
Sure. Because then you can spread out their corner depth a little bit too.
Exactly.
I just want to see as much play action as possible. I will keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. I think play action is the number one. It's the most efficient play in football. I think if you have a good run game, we see so many offenses that's what you establish the run and you hit play action after that. And that's how you 100%. Can get not so great quarterbacks to look better than they are. When you have an elite quarterback and you can do it, it just takes your offense to the next level, because getting those linebackers kind of second guessing themselves, it opens up the middle of the field where we can attack with Shakir and Kincaid.
I also think that play action a lot is something people don't talk about. Play action is more about the quarterback, I think, than even having a good run game, you know? I think they've done data on this over the years where you have like teams that run the ball really, really well aren't necessarily great at play action passes, right? The efficiency there. So I wonder if it's just that Josh Allen's just an elite play action quarterback where he's just fooling defenses a lot of times. And we have a good run game too, right? So it's kind of a balance there. And I think it is more of a threat in their back of their head when he does it. But it's also like the bootleg game for Allen's really good too. Like, there's just a lot of things he can do out of it. It's really a triple threat once we get to that point, and they just don't know what's coming and they don't know how to play it, you know? And it gives our receivers a little bit of diversion to help them get open, I think, too, more so than the usual. So, I agree with all that. I think we should run the play action as much as necessary.
Yeah, obviously
you can't run
all
every
day.
play.
All day.
Leave it to Miley. He's going to like run it every single play.
Yeah.
Then you really don't know.
He wouldn't even run the ball.
100%.
He's not going to run the ball. He's just going to play action every time.
Play action
100%.
post deep shot, play action seams,
Yeah.
play action waggle. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
anything that has play action first. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'll run it. I'll hit him with a draw play for my run plays. The
Yeah,
reverse play
yeah.
There you
action.
go.
yeah,
There you go.
play action,
Madden
and then
style.
maybe get him to come back and get the ball, like play action, and then get it in the pocket, and then do the
Oh,
Statue of
play
Liberty.
action draw play. Yeah.
Yeah, play
Play
action,
draw.
Statue of Liberty. He takes the
There you
ball
go.
out of your hand. You know what I mean?
Or like
So-
play action like flea flicker, but then you actually give the ball back to him.
Yeah,
There you go. Set up in a triple option after that with Gilliam.
yeah. All right, so let's transition. Miley, you wanted to go over a couple like kind of superlatives.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So yeah, with the season starting, I figure it's a good chance for us to give out some predictions for things that are going to happen, and we'll look back at the end of the year and see how good we are. We'll go with our record prediction and the teams we think we're going to lose to, because obviously we're all going to have a lot more wins than losses. Non-Josh Allen MVP, because obviously Josh Allen's the MVP of the team. Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and most impactful free agent signing. I think some of these we'll be able to rattle off quickly because I think we'll probably have similar names.
Yep.
But I think there'll also be some like maybe like Rookie of the Year and like free agent signing might be a little bit more like there's just also one more biggest X factor that can be a position or a specific player. Kind of you can choose, but we'll start with record predictions. I think that's probably the big one. If one of you guys want to kick it off.
Yeah, I got
Go ahead.
a record going 14-3. And then my Bills losses are the Falcons, the Texans, and the Buccaneers. I went a little different in my losses. I think we pull out the wins in the Ravens and the Chiefs because I do think that with our favorable schedule, they'll know how important those are, and those will be tiebreakers for the 1 seed. And I think they know how important the 1 seed is this year. I think with the Falcons, I believe Falcons are week 7, 4, 5, and 6 are home. Then we have to go away. So I think the away aspect of it will take away. I think Michael Penix will have a good year. You have Bijan Robinson. You know, we can handle we've handled Derrick Henry at sometimes, but I'm curious to see what we do with Bijan Robinson because he's so good in pass and run. A little terrified of that. Texans, I think, is our trap game because it's the away team that we lost to last year. They have 2 really good Iowa State wide receivers that they shipped John Mechie out because they like Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins so well. So that I think they're going to look good. Texans are kind of going to be like an everybody eats mantra on that offense with Collins at the helm. I think that is a little dangerous with their good defense. And then the Buccaneers will be the one home game that I think we'll lose. I don't think we go undefeated again this year at home. And I think Bucs are going to be one of the hottest teams in the NFL as they come. I think Baker Mayfield. So, Miley, I apologize. Those accolades I did for the whole NFL, not for Buffalo, so I'm going to wing the Buffalo accolades. I think Baker Mayfield is going to win MVP this year. He had over 4,500 yards, over 40 touchdowns last year. I think the stretch of the Buccaneers' final 7 games are relatively easy with 2 good wins that they can get. If they go on a recency biased run at the end and he has those similar stats, I think they want to move the MVP to the NFC and they'll try and get it there to make more parity out of that accolade. So I've got Baker Mayfield as a sneaky MVP runner and the Bucs going high. So those are my 3 losses for Buffalo.
One quick thing, I'm like the exact opposite on the Bucs. I think they fall off offensively without Liam Cohen. I think he really made that. I think the wide receiving room, you got injuries and age, and then Liam Cohen really made that run game work. I think he falls off, and I think Baker's a little bit overrated in my opinion. So I think he has awful pocket presence despite having one of the best offensive lines in the league. But I digress. I just kind of think that's funny how you think he's going to get better and win MVP, and I think he's going to drop off a little bit without Cohen. So I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
but,
I disagree.
Yep.
Yeah. That's obviously a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
So I have us at 13-4. My games are some of this is chalk and some of this is a little probably surprising. I think our one loss at home is going against the Patriots. We get them really early. I think week 5.
Yep.
It's a night game. I think they're willing. I think they're wondering like that's going to be early enough in the season still for them to feel like they have a chance against us. And I don't know if we respect them like we should. And they always somebody's going to catch us in the AFC East at some point, and we're not going to go undefeated at home either, right? So I think that's my first one. Chiefs, I think we lose to them in the regular season this time.
Hopefully, so we can beat them
Hopefully
in the
that
playoffs.
flips.
Yeah, so
That's
reverse
one of
the yeah.
Bengals. Bengals. I just think that we have I just think the matchup's bad, dude. I know y'all keep making fun of me about this. I just don't like it.
I think we'll score. We'll drop 45 against them.
That could be a James Cook game. Literally,
times-
where
wait,
Josh Allen runs
James
for 100
Cook will
yards,
run for
and James
200
Cook
yards.
goes for 225.
Okay, I'm going to give you one more team we're going to lose to. We're going to lose the Texans also. I think their secondary is just elite. I don't know if we'll be able to get any separation on them. All right, so let me wait. Last year, this is just a side pivot here, right? How many times do you think opposing offenses scored 40 plus against them last year?
Against Texans?
No, Bengals.
Wait.
3 times?
3 times. Okay.
Yeah, but their defense got worse.
Yeah. I don't know. Where
Did it?
What is
I
the
think it did.
relevancy?
Well, my point is like
They added
it's
no
not
one
a
and lost a
foregone
couple of
conclusion.
starters.
We're going to score 40 on them. You know what I mean?
I think 35.
But it's not a foregone
only
conclusion that
5
they're going to
others
score
did
40 on
30.
us.
Huh?
It's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to score 40 on
It's
us.
not, but from what I've
I
seen
think
of
there's
them
a
in the
way
past,
better. I think there's a
Our
way
front
better
line
shot
is
that
much
we
better.
drop
Milano
35
healthy.
than they drop 35.
Yes, thank you.
no, we can't guard any of the receivers. It's awful.
They can't stop anything.
They can't. We'll double.
anything.
We'll double who we need. Yeah.
I mean, can
there's
they not though? I mean,
Last year they couldn't. And I
Yeah.
don't. What did they do to get better?
The run defense.
What-
The run
how
defense
did their
looked
defense-
awful and worse than it was. Our running game can just pound them consistently and control the time on the clock.
And their
I
secondary
cannot see a world where we lose to the Bengals this year. I'm sorry.
all right,
I just think they have a
all right,
bottom
we'll
3
see when
defense in the
when the
league.
season starts. I hope I'm wrong.
And for me, I digress there.
They've also
Yeah.
never had a top 5 offense in the league.
Yeah.
Well, and what's the category?
I think
Yards
points
or
per game. I think points per game they've never been top.
No.
They'll have a tougher
No
schedule
way.
this year. Reminder: their schedule was god awful last year, and they had to put up that many points to miss the playoffs. Their schedule is much tougher this year. I just don't see a world where
They let Russell Wilson drop 40 on him last year.
they couldn't run the ball last year. I'm looking at it now. The rushing yards are awful. Now they
And
did
it
rank
didn't
ahead
get
of
any
us.
better.
still will. They didn't do anything.
They rank ahead of us in total offense.
Like yards. Yeah, well, they
Yeah,
put up a bunch of
yeah.
empty yards because their defense was so bad. They're throwing the ball around a bunch.
They did average 28
Thank
points
you.
a game. They were top. They were 6th in
Yeah.
points per
I
game.
think that's
But,
the highest they've had
razor
in points per
thin.
game.
It's
Yeah.
razor thin between.
I mean, yeah, they have an elite
Yeah.
offense. I'm
Yeah.
not saying they don't have an elite offense, but we have a better offense than us and the Ravens have like easily better offenses than the Bengals, in my opinion, and 10
a
times
holistic
better
point.
defenses.
Yes. Thank you.
All
Anyways, you still
All
picked 3. Alex, you still had 3 there technically, so we're good.
Yeah, I guess.
yeah.
I mean, if they offered you, wow, I don't know. Okay,
Go, do it.
no. Because I know what you're going to do. You're going to go off this tangent going, oh, well, the offensive line's better and we have James Cook. But it's like,
That's probably what I'd say.
I don't think teams are afraid of our offense like they're afraid of the Bengals offense.
Probably not. You're probably right about that. But on it,
No one's afraid of the Bengals defense.
Well, that's
exactly.
true.
That's
but
how bad they are.
leave
Their
it to us.
mouths are watering when they see the
Like,
Bengals defense.
They,
All right,
they
last
drafted
year-
a project in Shamar Stewart. He's not going to produce a lot this year. It's and then Hendrickson's going to be a year older. They made a bet. They should have gotten a surefire defensive lineman that would contribute this year, and they did not do that.
So, all right. So, hold on. I lost my train of thought with that because I was going somewhere with it. Keep going. Keep saying what you're saying. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Let's see. Right before that, we were talking
Shamar
about
Stewart.
Shamar Stewart. Yeah, I mean, at that point, he won't do well in producing because even during the offseason, he told scouts and everybody that he did not have a pass rush plan coming into Texas A&M because Texas A&M just ruins 5-star athletes all the time, and that's what Texas A&M does.
I remember
so
what I wanted to say now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go for it.
So I don't want to
I
lose
was-
it again because I'm
was just
old,
talking.
so like my brain's fogged. So here's the problem. I just don't think like last year we played the Ravens when their defense was the worst ranked pass defense in the league. And what happened? We couldn't do anything. So like my point is like just because they're ranked low doesn't mean we're going to roll up points on them.
Yeah, but we were also just a bad matchup against their
And not
secondary.
healthy.
Also, they like to run a lot. Shakir got injured, which killed their passing attack, but they like to run a lot of like man press, and they were just against good offense, good receivers. They were getting torched because their safeties were bad. We
Are they
didn't have
that-
good receivers to beat their good corners. The Bengals don't have a good player in that secondary. Cam Taylor-Britt's okay, and everyone else is awful.
The Bengals defense, is it really that much worse than it was the year before, or the year before that, or the year before that?
I wouldn't say
Yes.
it's worse before, but they're showing worse run defense. And if that continues to the regular season, then that's just a bigger problem for them, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was awful last year, and it didn't get better by any means.
Right.
Because they're passing, their yards per game is low ranked, but they're only giving up 220 passing yards a game. They do give about 124 rushing yards.
Again, they last year they played, I'm not sure when they played the Panthers, if it was Andy Dalton or Bryce Young. They played Brookie Drake May. They were playing O'Connell in the Raiders and stuff like that. So relatively below average.
The Ravens game, the two Ravens games really inflated the numbers in some ways. They had no chance against that.
Quick
defense.
thing. My computer's about to die. I'm going to switch over to my phone. So
that's fine.
I'm just letting you guys know
that's fine.
So I'll be off for like half a second.
Okay. All right. I could hit. Well, I guess I got to make up my accolades now. So do you want to go through the Buffalo accolades? Start with that, or
I think we should. I want to go into. Do you just want to start off with team MVP that's not Josh Allen?
Yes, I will go with. Let's go with Greg Rousseau. I'm going to go on the defense, and I'm going to say that Greg Rousseau pulls up 15 sacks, and that he is a finisher in what we need when the interior is bringing pressure that you like, Alex, at all times. So, because it's not Josh Allen, and then I have my X factor would kind of be my MVP, so I'm trying to switch it up real quick. So I'll give it to Greg Rousseau. He hits 15 sacks and closes out 2 games, which makes him a vital part of our defense.
Dude, 15 sacks.
Yeah. I'm so mad that Miley missed that because he'd be so excited for me.
No, I heard that.
Okay.
15 sacks. Wow.
But non-Josh Allen, though, it's very hard. As we've talked about when we talked about the Ravens roster and the Bills roster, is there's notable players that you can consistently talk about that are stars on the Ravens. And Buffalo, there really isn't except Josh Allen. So
But you still said 15 sacks. That's the other thing.
I could see it.
Wait,
It wasn't just you.
How many did he have? 12 last year?
8?
9. 9.
What's his
It was
high?
8.
11?
He was 10th in pressures, though.
10th in pressures, yes. So I'll go, 13 to 15. And but he'll close 2 games out. That's where the kick
Pressures has to be the most subjective stat that they have
is.
ever measured in life. Because I just every time I see it, I'm like, I roll my eyes at it.
Sacks and quarterback hits are really the only important things.
Yeah, I agree with that. Quarterback hits are different, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Miley? What are you thinking about?
Right,
give me a serious take, man.
Wait.
Rude.
Quickly, real quick. I never gave my record prediction, so I'll go over that.
Oh yeah.
14-3. I guess I'll complete the trifecta of we're losing to the Texans. We just match up poorly against them. And then I also have us losing to the Patriots, but not at home. I see there's no chance we lose to Diggs' return in Buffalo. They're going to be too hyped up for that. It's going to be too much energy. Rivalry jerseys, Diggs' return to Buffalo. I just don't see us losing that. I see us losing in New England because you're right. I don't think we go undefeated against the division. We always lose to we lose a dumb game in the division every year.
Yeah.
A lot of times with the Jets, it was Miami once. New England before. So I think it'll be in New England. We lose the game. It'll be kind of worse weather at that point, which can kind of even things out a little bit more. And then the third game is Philly. I just think that they're off Saquon and their offensive line and cold weather like that. It's going to be tough to stop. Our defensive line's better, but matched up against that good of an offensive line with that good of a run game, it's kind of like Detroit last year. But the only reason we beat Detroit is because Josh went at just crazy level insane, and we got a timely turnover from Benford. I also think the Eagles are a better team and have a better quarterback. And I think they have a better defense where Josh isn't going to be able to go is insane because they were also being in the cold versus in a dome. I think it'll be different. And I just think Saquon kind of just dominates us that game. And so that's my 3 losses.
I think, real quick before you hit the accolades, I think that having the home game December 28th is actually really impactful, to be honest with you. I think Eagles coming in between 2 holidays, and I know it's it shouldn't matter, but human beings going through Christmas before New Year's Eve and being able to stay home in your environment is so huge for those players.
Yeah,
So
agree.
I think that's weirdly huge for us, and that's why I didn't put Eagles in the loss column.
I just think we're just a bad matchup against them.
That's fair.
Also, yeah, with the Texans, we one thing I was wanting to mention is that it's a Thursday night road game. That's also a big advantage they have. They get to be at home on a short week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll go with my non-Allen MVP. I'll go Deion Dawkins. I think he's the engine that makes that offensive line go. I think that veteran presence, the stability we know we have at left tackle, it makes Josh Allen be able to play much more freely because he knows that his left side's secure, so he can just go and do whatever he wants. I think that – I mean, the offensive line would still be pretty decent without him, but I think Dawkins just kind of makes Allen be able to play a little more free because he's not worried, is someone coming up going to hit me from behind? No, you have Dawkins there. It allows him to roll out to the right a lot more because he's not worried about people chasing him down, stuff like that. And I really think that he is just a very key piece to the way this offense goes. So I'll go with Dawkins.
I'm just going to go chalk here. I think Matt Milano's the obvious answer.
Milano was
that's a good one
for me.
I need to see him in the regular season before because I'm so hyped up for him. I don't want to.
I just can't see anybody else elevating to the point where we call them a secondary MVP, right? And it's like James Cook. We kind of know what he is. I think he's just going to keep doing the same stuff. Dawkins is hard because he's a tackle. I mean, him staying healthy all season is probably his check mark, right? Because he's not going to give up a ton of sacks.
Right.
So it's hard for him to elevate his game to really notice it. Benford is a corner. He's very dependent position in a lot of ways on like what happens. And, I just think that Milano being fully healthy, kind of probably his last year of being like his prime,
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he has any more prime years. I think this is it, and I think he knows it. I think he's going to come out hard. It's funny that ESPN's depth chart has him playing behind Shaq Thompson. So you better not.
ESPN's all over the place. I know.
I just saw it. I was like, where is he on my list here? So
yeah,
I think Matt Milano is I think it's kind of an obvious choice. I just don't think other guys like Terrell Bernard. I think he just is who he is. I think he's a good player.
Right.
I don't think he's going to elevate like that. I think Matt Milano is our other really truly elite player at his peak.
Yeah.
I think at his peak he's the best outside linebacker in football when he was in his prime.
I think I thought I would put third off ball. See, because I consider him and like Roquan the same thing basically.
Oh, I don't. Okay, I thought he was more. I kind of consider Roquan more like
because
green.
We play two linebackers, so I think like Milano and Bernard are kind of just similar to me. They're just both off ball linebackers.
Interchangeable.
And I always had Milano at 3 behind Roquan and Fred Warner. I think Fred Warner is easily
Warner.
the best off ball linebacker in football. Yeah. But Milano right there. I think he opens so much up.
What's the next category?
Offensive player of the year.
I'll go first since I went last.
Okay.
So offensive player, well, not Josh Allen, correct? This is the Josh Allen.
Right? Not Josh Allen. Yeah, because
okay.
Again, it would just be Josh Allen every time.
I mean, it's James Cook probably.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to exclude him just to be contrarian, probably. I honestly think Joshua Palmer is going to pop a little bit in this offense. I think here's the thing. It may not be noticed, but I think his presence on the field may end up causing more beneficial, like situational things, right? So like him being able to create separation, I think is going to open up things for other people. It'll maybe get the lead corner like a Humphrey or whatever to D him up instead of Shakir or Keon Coleman or whatever.
That's more of an X factor, right?
Yeah, I'd say more. Maybe I don't know about an X factor. I just think most valuable offensive player to me is the one who impacts the offense the most in a positive way. I think overall, I think he's going to have the biggest impact on what we do as long as he's healthy.
Yeah. I'll go with James Cook, and then I guess if I want to be a contrarian like you, I'll go Shakir. We've seen how important Shakir is to that offense. Our two worst offensive games last year were probably the Ravens-Texans regular season games. Yep. What does those have in common? No Shakir.
They also have in common
not healthy Shakir.
They also have in common two pretty damn good defenses in terms of personnel.
I mean that was part of it. But if we had Shakir in that Texans game, our receivers and that offense wouldn't have been as bad as it was.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, mine was Shakir as well. When it came, to be honest, I think now that we have legitimate deep threats, it's going to open up more for him in the intermediate, and then he'll have a better A dot, which will then give him better production.
All right.
Yep.
What about you, Randall? You want to start this time, or would you go first?
We got Defensive Player of the Year next. I think I know what Randall's going to say based on what he had for his non-Allen MVP.
I've been trying to pick different people though.
Oh,
okay. Don't worry about the time, by the way. Just keep going.
I was just gonna do Matt Milano for everything that Alex said. As long as he plays to what we believe he looked like in the offseason, I think he is just gonna be. I think he's just gonna come out. He's gonna earn another contract, whether or not be for Buffalo or for Buffalo or not. But I think Matt Milano plays through to add a couple of years. I'm going with Milano. I was gonna go Milano as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
And I'm going to pivot just because I feel like it's not worth to pick him twice, right? I'm going to go with Terrell Bernard.
Nice.
I think he's going to be the most valuable player in terms of like just making the ship run. And we're going to need a lot of help with making sure communication's right, especially early on with the secondary being banged up. I think that he's going to have to do a good job of just kind of facilitating and making sure everybody's in the right place. You know, is it X Factor next? Is that what you said?
Rookie of the year, then free agent, like the best free agents. What free agent signing will you think will be the best, and then X Factor?
Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to say Deion Walker.
Is it all Deion Walker?
Nope, I'm going T.J. Sanders.
Okay, Deion Walker for me.
I just think he's just going to be.
I think Sanders pressure.
I think Sanders will have more playing time than Walker.
Yeah, maybe.
And I was gonna go Maxwell, but like him not playing the first 4 weeks, if Maxwell was playing the full year, I'd probably go with him just because he has the easiest chance to be a full-time starter.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll go T.J. Sanders just because I think he's gonna have probably the most playing time.
Okay, that makes sense. And then we're both Deion Walker.
And
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Me too.
Best free agent signing.
Ooh, I'll go last.
I'm gonna go Michael Hoyt. I think once he comes back off his suspension, I think Michael Hoyt's gonna. He looks so good in the preseason training camp. When he's got like great speed to power still, he can drop back into coverage. I think he makes our defense super versatile. And then Landon Jackson, just like Shamar Stewart, is going to take probably a full year to get production out of it. Step in Michael Hoyt after week 6, and he's going to be that pass rush that we might be missing. With everything else he does.
I'm annoyed because I was hoping I'd be different. I'm thinking you guys are going to go Palmer or Bosa, and I was going to go Hoyt, be different. So I'm annoyed you because that's who I was going with. I think Michael Hoyt's versatility is just huge. When we signed him, I basically thought it was like you mix Dwayne Smoot and Casey Toohill, but make them good. Yeah. Because the versatility of Toohill, the run defense, and the actual ability to play defensive end of Smoot, and then actually being a good player, unlike those two, I think. Just you can play him anywhere in the defensive line. You can drop back in coverage. You can play him on special teams. Like he can just play so much. He can be so impactful so many different ways. McDermott and Babbage love rotating their defensive linemen and moving pieces around. I think having a chess piece like that will be huge.
Yeah, I'm going to say Bosa, and I just think that. Yeah. I just think if he stays healthy, it's going to be hard for him not to be the best one of the group. I think Hoyt's definitely a good choice. I love what I've seen of Hoyt in the offseason. I think he's just a wrecking ball. He provides you with not many people know this. Casey Toohill is like an elite athlete. And so is Michael Hoyt. He's got that kind of athleticism.
He just couldn't set the edge to save his life.
He's just not good at football. Well, he's good at football. He's better than us at football. He's just not great.
He's not good. When I ever say someone like a pro athlete's not good at their sport, I'm saying compared to other pro athletes.
Yeah,
way better than I'll ever be. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's. I hate when people say that because we're clearly keeping it in context of the players in the NFL. So I would say that would be my main choice. I mean, Palmer is a good secondary deal. Like I said, I'd put him as being kind of like I guess you call him X Factor, MVP, whatever you want to call it. I have a different X Factor, by the way. But I think that Bosa is just the one who's going to impact the game the most from the defensive line. We really need somebody to step up as like a real pass rusher who can also play the run.
I think that'll be Rousseau, but I think Bosa is going to be a good signing, but I think Rousseau takes a step because of people like Bosa being added. It's just going to open up more opportunities. It's like he can get pressure and the QB just won't run away from him because he'll just run into other people. Unlike when it was Dwayne Smoot and AJ Epinesa on the other side rushing the passer, it's like, oh, Rousseau's coming. I'll just move over here where no one is.
He'll get his customary cleanup sacks that he gets every year.
Hey,
yeah, AJ Epinesa. The only reason he gets any sacks
more
because of that.
His shoestring sacks and his
15 of them. 15 of them.
the quarterback falls and he drops and touches them. Like, it falls on top of him, sacks. Like that first game last year,
That's more of
Arizona.
Epinesa gets more cleanup sacks than
I don't
He
know.
does.
I see Epinesa win more cleanly than him when he does win. He doesn't
yeah.
win very often.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, the one time
X.
a game, yeah. X factor, I'm gonna go with the position group, linebackers. I think it's key. Milano returning to form and Bernard returning to 2023 form, I think is going to be so huge for this defense. I think last year Bernard wasn't as good as he was the year before. I think a lot of that just had to do with what he was playing around due to Milano being injured and him being injured. And I think you have those two. You saw at the beginning of 2023 how dominant they were together, how good they looked just playing off each other. And I think if we can even return to close to that form, I think it really helps the middle of the defense and opens everything else up, makes everyone else's jobs easier. So I'm going to go with linebacking core.
All right, Randall.
I'm going to go with James Cook. I think he's going to be an X factor. And when we saw him again in the offseason and what he looked like, he looked bigger. It looked like he looked bigger up top, which then will help him in the pass blocking.
Yeah.
So then now that opens up Joe Brady's offensive playbook into what they're predicting in run and pass. So I think that X factor and now confusing defenses more is what's going to be so big. And that's why I got James Cook.
I agree. I thought he looked like he put on at least 10 pounds.
Yeah. And
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he's on the program at like 190, but he weighed in the combine at 197. So I'd assume he wouldn't lose any weight because you would lose weight to get faster for the combine at a minimum. So he's probably around 205, if I had to guess. So I'm going to do an offense and defensive X factor because I think it's important on both ends. I think Cole Bishop is the one who can elevate our defense the most if he ends up being good.
Yes.
I just think that it's going to be crucial for him to do that. And I trust in it just because he's a high-level athlete. He's a smart kid. We went after him for a reason. I think they'll put him in a place to be successful. They'll probably play Rap in center field and him in the box. Just because even though he's a better athlete than Rap, I think that his skill, like his movement skills, he feels more comfortable being in the box, I feel like, but I think that can elevate our defense the most because we really need it to be that way. And on offense, it's the reverse. I also think the other Utah kid, Dalton Kincaid, needs to be who he's supposed to be now. And that's going to be an X factor. If he can do that, the offense will elevate on its own, like across the board. Like it'll make us way better if he is the guy we think he is. So this isn't a prediction. This is me more of saying this is who the X factor has to be in order to elevate the offense or the defense at the end of the day. I think those two are just, they stick out to me like a sore thumb with it.
100%.
Makes sense. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think he's got to be that for us. So we already had predictions for the game. Miley, you and I will be at the game.
Yep.
Lucky Ducks.
We'll have to get a picture together. I'll have to find
it.
What section are you in?
335.
Oh, weird. Hold on. I'm in 3. Hold up. I'll tell you right now. Give me 2 seconds. Well, there's dead air here, but I really want to find out what section I'm in.
335, row 10, and then like
I'm in where's it at? I'm in 3 something. Hold on. Go ahead.
Put them on your Apple Wallet, and that's how I usually have it.
Yeah.
Real quick and easy because the service there sucks. It's like while you're sitting in the stands or in the game, you're not going to get any service. But like if you go to use the bathroom, then you'll get service. Like while you're walking around and because there's not as many people right by you, it's when there's just so many people, you get no service at all. So I'm hoping for the new stadium.
What are you in?
335.
I'm in 337, row 3.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I might be able to see you from my seats then.
Yeah, Ryan. Ryan is in 240, right below us to the left.
Oh, okay. He's in the club seat.
He's in a club seat. Yeah, the middle.
Oh, they are club seat.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. That should be good. We'll have to all catch up, get a picture together. We'll be able to put it on the side or whatever. But yeah, I'm excited about going. I haven't been in 25 years.
Ooh,
oh,
good.
really?
That's crazy. Wow. Nice.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, I was 20. I was 21 when I went last time. No,
my buddy.
I'm way younger than that. Younger than that. Jesus Christ.
I was also.
I was 19.
Oh,
sorry.
you're 46.
I
there you go.
was.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I was
Showing your
20.
age.
I was
I'm
21. Also, the last time I went to a Bills game.
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter is with me. She's 18. So she's much closer to your age than I am. So
There you go. Find the bus. My buddy's tailgate right at the gas
Oh
station.
yeah, I have a bus.
There's a bus where DJs the whole entire time. You get to go in the bus. They have shots available for you. You go in one way, go out the other way. Make sure
Yeah.
you stop
Yeah.
by there so then you can see that atmosphere. My buddy's tailgate right there. So yell
funny-
Aaron, and he'll feed
We
you.
have a Bills bus. Like my dad and his friend bought a Bills bus. Like they
Nice.
bought a bus. We turned into
Awesome.
Bills buses. We got a TV, so like we'll be watching the early. We have like a cable hooked up there, and we get the early like CBS game. We'll throw it on, and
Nice.
as much food and shots you can think of.
Okay. Awesome. What time are you starting in your tailgate?
I think we're leaving our house like noon, so probably get there like 1-ish.
So you're gonna be drunk by the time the game.
Oh,
starts.
I'll be sober. I drive.
Oh, you
I
do.
drive
Cool.
back. Yeah, because I'm especially since I'm gonna have to work.
I
The
thought that
next
was
day. I don't-
sarcasm for a second.
No,
Nah,
no,
I thought it was,
no, I'm the DD.
Good for you.
Also, like
Good for you.
I have to drink or I have to work the next day. And also, when I'm watching football, I kind of like to be a little more clear-headed, so I can actually process what's going on.
I like to
Maybe
drink
some-
while I watch. I don't like to drink before I watch.
Yeah, like I'll have
know
a
what I mean?
couple like relax.
That's an old man thing to say.
Unless
Yeah.
it's a game. Unless it's a
Yeah,
game.
my
that
body
means,
can't
like,
hold up anymore.
a game that means like nothing. Like usually like a late division game, like the last couple of years, like a Jets or Patriots game at the end of the year that meant nothing. I'll go out, I'll drink a lot because it's like I don't really care what happens. Like
Right. You can kind of already
yeah,
know you're rolling. Like the last
yeah,
game of
it's-
the year last year would be a good game to get drunk and
the Patriots game last year. It was the one I did a lot, and
Yeah.
I won sweet tickets for that one, so it was
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be a good time, man. I'm excited about it. It'll be a nice little 9-hour drive there. We're gonna look around and explore the city. The last time I went, I was 19, so I couldn't legally drink.
Yeah. And that's one of the things Buffalo's best
Yeah,
at, I guess.
I didn't get to tailgate last time I went. Like this is the
But,
first time
like,
I had a chance to tailgate.
even like not even like tailgating, but like Buffalo. One of the best things about it is like the bars and the drinking down. Like go brewery hopping, like downtown's pretty
Yeah.
fun. I mean,
Restaurants.
there's so many different like stretches of area where there's some nice bars, good food.
Yeah, awesome. All right, guys, you got anything else for me?
No, week 1. It's finally here. Let's go.
I
I know.
Let's
I
go.
feel like it flew by, but also took forever at the same time.
I can't
like-
wait for my
like real life.
weekly mood to be dependent on 53 players and a couple of coaches.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, man. It takes me, when I was a kid, it took me about the next game to get over it. I was upset for 7 days.
The Bills
Oh, yeah.
lose. I basically go mute the rest of the night unless I'm just
Yeah, me too.
crashing out.
It takes
I'm
me
like,
like,
unless I'm crashing out, I just don't talk.
I have to
I'll
mourn
just
the
bury
loss
my
for,
head
like,
in my phone. I'll bury my head in my phone just to like get my mind off of it.
until you get delusional again. You start looking at the game again. You're like, you know
Exactly. You get
what? You know what? That wasn't
Yeah,
that
just-
bad.
Yeah, I'll put this.
The all
I'm
22
making
film.
all the,
Makes you feel
yeah.
so much better, right?
You'll be fine. Yeah, there,
Yeah.
right.
I'll make all
It
these
that bad.
excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, but like this person wasn't playing, and and this just went that way.
You start to make excuses for yourself. You're only convincing
Yeah,
yourself,
exactly.
no one else. So
Exactly.
hopefully that's not us on Monday. I'm guessing.
Hopefully.
Well, you'll be able to make I won't be here next Monday because I'll be driving. So it'll be up
Okay.
to you guys to do it. Randall might need a link sent to him. He's got 2 different accounts.
Oh no, I'll get
Broadcast.
it. Well,
Okay,
don't worry
cool.
about that. Don't worry
It
about
sucks,
that.
though, like they don't release all 22 film until Tuesday, so we won't be able to
So
react
dumb.
after watching.
Yeah.
It's so dumb
Oh,
because I would
so
have
dumb.
loved to be able to like Monday before the show watch it, but
Hey,
I mean,
Randall, do you want to plug anything like for the Draft Professor or anything? I know that you're kind of in that start of the season. I don't know if you're on there certain days. Maybe people can catch you over there.
Yeah, I'm doing on Tuesdays at 6:00. We are doing college previews with draftable players every week for an
Eugene
upcoming game on the
Wilson.
weekend, and then in October we'll start. I'm doing breaking down wide receivers. So
Eugene Wilson.
I'll be well. No, we're breaking down 50. So
Nick
we'll
Carver.
have 50. We'll have 50 grades. on
future
it.
Buffalo
And
Bill
then-
Nick Harbor.
Yeah, DK Metcalf, but doesn't know how to play football.
There's one-
And
If
Go
he
ahead.
can run fast down the field, good with me.
Yeah.
I'll say one of the things I like about the Draft Professor too is like I'm a draft junkie, but like I really don't get into the prospects fully. Like I don't immerse myself until like December. And a
Yeah.
lot of the reason is not because I don't want to sometimes. it's because I don't have the time to like dive in and look for like prospects, because every year prospects come and they go, they fall off. All of a sudden, a first round guy was last year's, but like Deion Walker, you went from a first round prospect to a fourth round guy.
Henry Jones.
And I like to know who I'm supposed to be watching on Saturdays, even though I'm a Virginia Tech fan. I'd rather watch other games where I can see prospects and maybe it'd be a good fit in Buffalo. And you can really find that in the Draft Professor, pretty heavily. So it's good to check out over there.
Shameless plug. If you follow me, any big marquee matchup, I do put Bills Mafia in a watch list for the game. So, if you end up following me, you can see that as well. And then Saturdays, I do a college football recap for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday football shows as well. So I do that on Saturdays. But that's it.
Absolutely. Cool.
Awesome.
All right. So same time next week. It'll just be you, Miley, and Randall. And I might try to call in while I'm on the road, if I'm on the road at that point. I might be able to get back in time, but it's going to be tight because I don't know what time we're leaving. I think we're leaving like 10. It's like a 9-hour drive. So if I can get on, I will. But all right, guys.
All right. Appreciate everybody.
Please like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sports book of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.